Good day everyone. Today we will discuss about basic geometry concepts and its relationships. So let's start with the meaning of geometry. So what is geometry? So geometry is the study of shapes and their measurements. The word geometry comes from the two Greek words geo that means earth and metron that means measure. That's why we have here the earth which means geo which means earth and meter so which means measure. So that's geometry. We have the point. So what is a point? So a point is the most basic geometric concept. It has a location but it has no shape or size. It is represented by a dot and a capital letter is used to name a point. For example, we have here the point, then we have the capital letter A, so we can name it as point A. Next, we have here the dot, and there is a capital letter B, so we can name it as point B. Next, we have here the map. So let's say we have the map of Laguna. So we can say that the location of Arabella Hot Spring Resort. So we have your dot and a capital letter A. So we can name this point as point A. Now for the location of the National Art Center, so we can name this location as point N. Now for the location of the Makiling Botanic Gardens, we can name it as point B. Then we have here the Mayundon, one of the barangay in Los Baños. So we have here point M. So this will be the location of Barangay Mayundon. Then we have here the International Rice Research Institute location. So we can name this location as point R. So that's how we name a point. Let's have line. So what is a line? So the next geometric concept is a line. It is a collection of points arranged in such a way that they will extend to opposite directions. The line has no shape but has a length. For you to identify the line, you can label it using a small letter or you can name it using the 2 points on the line. Example, so we have here a figure. So there is a small letter L here, italic, so we can name it as line L. Another one, so we have here a line and there's 2 points here. We have point A and point B. So we can name this line as line AB or we can use the notation line here above AB. So we can write it this way and it is also read as line AB. Now let us have plane. So the third geometric concept is the plane. A plane is any flat surface that extends to all directions. So meaning to the left, to the right, up, and down. Naming a plane is by using 3 letters which are non-collinear points. So when we say non-collinear points, it means that these points do not lie on the same line. Okay? So we can name it as a single italic capital letter or it can be named by the corresponding letter of the vertices of the plane. So a plane has 2 dimensions. It has length and width. So we have this figure. We can name this figure in so many ways. So we can name it as plane M through 1 capital letter. Then we can name it 3 letters inside the plane. So consecutively arrange clockwise or counterclockwise. So we can name it as plane GOE, plane GEO, plane OGE, plane OEG. So we can name this figure as in many ways. Also, we can name it through the corresponding letters to its vertices. So when we say vertices, wherein the segments intersect. So we have here the point A, point B, point C, and point D. So these are the vertices. So we can name it as plane A, B, C, D. Okay, we can name it counterclockwise or clockwise consecutively, meaning arrange the letters consecutively clockwise or counterclockwise. So we have here plane A, B, C, D, plane BCDA, plane CDAB, plane DABC, and many more. So we cannot name this as plane ABDC. Okay? So it means that we did not name it consecutively. So we can name it consecutively either clockwise or counterclockwise. Next, we have here example. Let's say we have named each figure in different ways. So we have this line. So how can we name this line? So we can name it as line LO. We can name it as line LV. We can also name it as line LE. We can name it as line OV, line OE, line VE. We have here line EL. Then we have line EO. Then we have line EV. We have line VL, line VO, or line OL. But it's the same. So it pertains to one figure, and this will be the figure. So we can name it in many ways, in different ways. So either of these 12 here can be the name of this figure or this line. Okay? We have here, name each figure in different ways. So we have here the plane. So how can we name it in different ways? So we can name it as plane N. We can name it as plane SUM. We can name it as plane UMS. We can name it as plane MSU, plane MUS, plane SMU, or plane USM. Then we can name it through its vertices. So we can name it as plane LIFE, plane LEFI, plane IFEL, plane FILE, or plane FELI. But we cannot name it as plane LIEF. So we must name it consecutively clockwise or counterclockwise. Now let us have this lesson, ray and segment. So do you know that a line consists of infinitely many points, just like we have here for line X. So we have here, this line contains point M, point O, point D, point U, point L, point A, and point R. So if you will cut a portion of this line, you will get a subset of the line. So for example, this one. So we cut it. So we have here point M, point O, point D. Then we have here point D, point U, point L. And then we have point L, point A, and point R. So we cut this line to 3 portions. So we have the two possible subsets from this line. So we have the segment or the line segment and the ray. Now let us have this line X again. So we cut this portion, so we will get line segment. So how many line segments do we have here? So we can have a line segment MO. So we cut it from here. So we have line segment MO. Then we can also have line segment DL. We can also have line segment DU, line segment UL, line segment LA, line segment AR, or we can have it in opposite direction. We can also have it as line MD or line DM, or line segment MD, line segment OL, or line segment LO, line segment UR, line segment OA. So these are some portion of this line X that we can. So we can form many line segments. Now again, if we cut this portion, we can also have rays. So we have here ray MR. So from here, we can have ray MR. So also in opposite direction, we can also have here, so same direction, ray OD, ray OD. So we have here ray MR, then ray OD. Then the opposite direction, we have RM, and we have here ray LA. So class, here we have here ray MR. Ray MR is the same with ray MO, ray MD, ray MU, ray ML, ray MA. So it's the same. Same name with ray MR. Now with ray OD, it has the same name with ray OU, OL, OA, or ray OR. So also with ray RM. So it is also the same with ray RA, RL, ray RU, ray RO. And also with ray AL. So it is the same with ray AU, ray AD, ray AO, or ray AM. So now, how do we write the name of the ray? So when we say ray, it is a subset of a line that has only one endpoint and it has no definite length. So when we name ray, so we start with its endpoint, then the next point in our given figure. So for this ray, we name it as ray AB. So take note, this is the notation symbol for ray. So we have here the points A and B. Then there is a symbol for ray above AB. So we name it as ray AB. And also with this one. So again, in naming, we will start with the endpoint. So we have here the endpoint. So we name it as ray WX. So again, this is the notation symbol for ray above the WX. Now for the line segment or segment, so it is a subset of a line that has two endpoints and therefore it has definite length. So for example, we have this line segment OP. So how are we going to name it? So we just get the endpoints of this line segment. We have O and P. Then there is a line or bar above OP. So there is no arrowhead for line segment. So when there is no arrowhead, it means line segment. If it has two arrowheads in opposite direction, it is a line. If it is one arrowhead, it is a ray. So that's the difference between line, ray, and segment for the symbol above the corresponding points. Okay? Now we have here line segment QR. So this is how we write line segment QR. Now we have example of real life example for ray. So we have the sunlight ray. So we have the lights from the flashlight, and then we have the signal or signage in a street. So it means that we can turn left for this arrowhead. Now we can also have real life example of segment. So we have your pencil and then the edge of the ruler, the edge of the paper, pad paper, the edge of the box, and then the edge of the bus. So that's an example of a line segment. Now we have this computation for the number of line segments, how many line segments we can get from a line given the number of points. So this will be the formula. Number of line segments is equal to n times the quantity of n minus 1 all over 2, where n is the number of points in a line. So let us compute how many line segments do we have for this line X that has points MODULAR. So we use the formula. Number of line segments is equal to n times the quantity of n minus 1 all over 2. Then let us substitute. So n is the number of points. So we substitute 7 to n because we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, where n is the number of points. So substitute 7 to n, and then again 7 here. So n minus 1. So we will have 7 minus 1 all over 2. Then let us simplify. So we have here 7. Then simplify inside the parentheses. 7 minus 1 is 6. Then all over 2. Then let's multiply. So 7 times 6 is 42. Then divided by 2. So we have 21. So therefore, the number of line segments that we can form from this line with 7 points is 21. Okay? Now, let us go to angles. So we have here angle. So angle is formed by two non-collinear rays with a common endpoint. So again, when we say non-collinear, do not lie on the same line. Okay? So this is why we have here this figure for angle. The two rays are the sides of the angle. The common endpoint of the two rays is the vertex of the angle. So these are the two rays. We have here ray QP and ray QF. So this will be the sides of the angle. And the intersection of these two rays is what we call the vertex of the angle. So the vertex is point Q. Now, we can have different ways in naming angle. So first one, by 3 capital letters. Okay? So we will use 3 capital letters. Of course, when we use the 3 capital letters, we always write at the middle the vertex, the corresponding letter in our vertex. So we can name this as angle FQP. So 3 capital letters from the given figure. So take note that Q is the letter corresponding to the vertex of the angle. That's why we will write it in the middle. So we have your angle FQP, or vice versa, the other way around. So we can name it as angle PQF. So take note that Q will always be written in the middle because that's the letter that corresponds to the vertex of the given angle. Now, we can also name the angle by the vertex. So this is the vertex of the angle. So we can also name it through the letter of the vertex. So we can name it as angle Q. So we can name it as angle Q. Now, we can also name it by a number if there is a number given in our figure. So since there is a number in our figure, we can also name it as angle 1. So we can name it as angle 1. So this will be the symbol. Next, so we can have this figure given angle PQR. So what are the points on the side of angle PQR? So when we say points on the side of angle PQR, so we have here point Q, point R, and point P. So they lie on the sides of the angles. Now, what will be the point or points inside angle PQR? So we only have one point inside the angle PQR, and then we have here point I. And then what will be the point outside the angle PQR? So we have the point O. Now, we can use a protractor because we can use it to measure the opening of the angle. So when we say protractor, a protractor is an instrument that is used to measure an angle. And the unit of measurement of the angle is degree when we use the protractor. So the unit given in our protractor is degree. Now, we have different kinds of angles according to each measurement. So, the first one, we have here the acute angle. So, acute angle has a measure that is greater than 0 degree but less than 90 degrees. So, take note. For example, if the angle measures 56 degrees, so it is an example of an acute angle. Now, if the angle has exactly measurements of 90 degrees, so it is right angle. Okay, then we have here obtuse angle, an angle measured greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So for example, we have 110. The measure of the angle is 110 degrees. So therefore, that angle is an obtuse angle. I hope you understand our lesson about point, line, plane, line segment, ray, and angle. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and God bless.